Hello guys, so today we'll be starting with a new topic, that is cranial nerves and nuclei. So, do you know how many pairs of cranial nerves do we have? We have 12 pairs of cranial nerves. What are cranial nerves? They supply our cranium, that is the skull, and our face. Okay, so I'm listing down the cranial nerves now. And you need to remember them in a sequence which I'm writing in. Okay, so the first cranial nerve is olfactory. The second is optic. The third cranial nerve is oculomotor. The fourth is trochlear. The fifth cranial nerve is trigeminal. The sixth is abducens. Seventh is facial. Eighth is vestibulocochlear. Ninth is glossopharyngeal. 10th is vagus. 11th is accessory. And 12th is hypoglossal. Okay. Right. So, I'm writing down a mnemonic for you to learn them in a sequence, and that too very easily without getting confused. So, O. To take a family vacation, go Vegas and Hawaii. Okay, so this is the mnemonic. You can remember. O for olfactory, O for optic, O for oculomotor, T for trochlear, and so on. Okay, so O, to take a family vacation, go Vegas and Hawaii. Now you need to know that which nerve is sensory, which nerve is motor, and which nerve serves the both function. That is, it's sensory also and it is motor also. So for that we have a mnemonic, that is, some says money matters, but my brother says big brain matters most. So here S stands for sensory, M stands for motor, and B stands for both. So what is it I'm writing here? Okay, so S stands for sensory, M stands for motor, and B will stand for both. That is, that particular nerve will be sensory also and it will be motor also. Understood? So it is some says money matters, but my brother says big brain matters most. So by learning the mnemonic, you can easily learn this. Now you should know that particular function. Don't you think so? So now let's learn which nerve serves which function. Olfactory is sensory and the function is smell. What is the function? The function is smell. Okay. Optic is also sensory. It is eye. So your sensory function of the eye is controlled by whom? It is by optic nerve. Oculomotor, it is also for eye. And there's something you need to remember, that it is the main motor nerve of eye. Okay, so it controls your pupils, it controls your ciliary muscles, it controls your upper eyelid movements. Everything is controlled by oculomotor, the main motor nerve of eye. T, that is trochlea, it is also for eye. Okay, now this controls the superior oblique muscle of eye. Okay, therefore helping in eye movement. Now trigeminal, it has sensory and motor functions to face. The sense, it is the main sensory nerve of face. But motor function, if I talk about, then it has motor function to masticatory muscles. Mastication. So it is motor for our mastication. Don't get confused, this ends over here. Okay. Now abducen is also for the eye. Abducen, in the word itself, you can see abduct, right? So it abducts the eye. In the very first video, I've explained you what is abduction, what is adduction. Abduction is something away from the body. So eye away from means eyeball movement and away from the body. Facial. Facial is serving both functions and it is for the face. The word itself suggests it, right? So it controls the expression of the face. Your expressions which you give while playing games, or when you're angry, when you're having mood swings, or when you're very happy. These all times the expressions, who were you able to give because of facial nerves. Expressions of face. Understood? It controls this. Vestibulocochlear is for your ear. And what is the function of ear? Can someone tell me? It is hearing and balance. Okay. Glossopharyngeal is for the taste. Later I'll be explaining you. Your tongue is divided into parts. Some part is supplied by some nerve, some other part is by another nerve. So it supplies 1/3 posterior part of the tongue. We'll be doing this later on deeply, but for now you should know which nerve supplies what. You should have a very good idea about it. Vagus. It is the only nerve which will go below your face. So it goes to GIT. It will go to your heart. It will go to your lungs. Okay? And supply them, obviously. It is main parasympathetic, I can say. Parasympathetic control is by vagus nerve. Okay? Then accessory nerve. Now accessory nerve is having two parts. It is divided into two parts. The cranial part and a spinal part. Okay? So the spinal part is supplying two muscles in our body. And those two muscles are, one is sternocleidomastoid, present right at your neck. When you turn your neck at the left side on your right side, you feel a muscle that is from your ear, and you will feel it till the midline, till where your both clavicles meet. At that point, you could feel a muscle protruding out. That is nothing but sternocleidomastoid. Okay. The second is The second nerve which it supplies is, the muscle is, it's trapezius. It is at the back neck muscle. Okay. The cranial part will supply the soft palate. It will supply the soft palate. Okay. Hypoglossal. So this hypoglossal nerve is for the tongue. It is the main motor nerve of tongue. Main or only motor nerve of tongue, you can say. Okay. So these was all about the cranial nerves. So you should know which nerve, you should know all the nerves in a sequence. Then second thing what you should know which nerve is sensory, which nerve is motor, and which nerve serves both the function. Third thing which you should know is their particular function. Okay. So this was all about your cranial nerves. Now let's know where the nuclei is present. Each 12 nerve has their own nuclei. So we'll know that in the next few minutes. Fine. So in this right hand side picture, you can see there's midbrain, there's pons, and there's medulla. This midbrain, pons, and medulla together is known as brainstem. What it is known as? It is known as brainstem. So you should remember the midbrain, pons, and medulla together is called as brainstem. And I've drawn a simplified structure to know where each nuclei was present. First I'll name them, then I will explain you. This, the light pink color, is nothing but cerebrum, your large part of the brain. Your brain is divided into two parts, right? The bigger brain and the smaller brain. The bigger brain was cerebrum, the smaller brain is cerebellum. So cerebrum. Here you can, now I am writing the brain stem. What am I writing? Brain stem together. So the first, 1 minute. This dark pink color is your midbrain. This blue color is pons, and at the end this green color is medulla oblongata. Okay. And this together, the brain stem, what is brain stem? This together, medulla oblongata, pons, and midbrain. This together is known as what? It is known as brain stem. Do you understand this? Okay. Now I'll be naming the nuclei, not naming, actually I'll numbering the nuclei where it is present. Okay. So we'll be starting first of all with this one. In the cerebrum, you have the first and the second nuclei. The first was which nerve? Olfactory nerve, and the second optic nerve. They both have the nuclei in the cerebrum. The third nerve, the fourth nerve, and the fifth nerve draw half of the fifth nerve part into the midbrain and half into the pons. Why is it so? Because fifth nerve, which is trigeminal, it has two nuclei. Its one nuclei is present into the midbrain, and the second nuclei is present in the pons. So draw half of the fifth part into the midbrain, half into the pons. Okay. The sixth, seventh, and 8th is present into your pons. Your 9, 10, 11, and 12 is present in your medulla oblongata. So what was the ratio? Here 2, here 3, here 4. Consider 5 also as 1, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. How many? 4 nuclei. 9, 10, 11, 12. How many? 4 nuclei. So it is the ratio 2, 3, 4, 4. This way you can remember them. And now I'm writing down what I already told you about the trigeminal nerve. The trigeminal nerve has two nuclei. One was present where? One is in pons, one in midbrain, the other is in pons, one in pons. Okay, that's it. You need to know. Okay.